Hello, welcome to Steph's World, the world according to Steph. It's Spiritual Foundations. It's number 14. Wow. Okay, now, um, I joined a group. It's a philosophy group, and I feel like I'm right at home in there, really, because when I speak to you, I speak a lot of philosophy to you. That's really what we're talking about. And it's not just metaphysics or spirituality, but it's also some philosophy. So I realized that after I joined this other group. And today, I saw somebody wrote something. I write something a lot. Of course, I can't keep my mouth shut, of course, but but anyway, I wish our group did this kind of stuff, but we don't, and there's nothing I can do about it. I started a disability group, and there for a while it was really rolling, but unfortunately it was going in a direction that I didn't know what to do because it wasn't the way that I had wanted it to go. I don't have the energy for that, the way it was going to go. I do not have the energy. I'm getting ill, worse ill, shall I say, every day. And just doing these videos are so difficult, it's unbelievable. I can't begin to tell you. Taking a shower is a huge endeavor for me. Um, there's so much that my doctors have said, don't you think you need some better help here? And I'm just not ready to have somebody help me in the shower, help me get ready for the shower, or do any of that. I'm just not ready. I think we know when we're ready to make those kind of changes. It's coming. I will not deny it. It's coming. Um, I've been having seizures every single night, and they've been pretty bad. So, when you wake up or come to at 5 o'clock in the morning and your body is just totally beat up, so you're wondering, what did I do last or during the night or in the morning or whatever? I don't imagine that it took long to do the damage that it did. I even still have some of the marks left from last night. But it seems like whenever it happens, I do come to. Now, I've had a few of these seizures during the day, too. One time, the good news was I had a young man with me who was helping me, and I was trying to use two canes when I should have been in a wheelchair. And the next thing I knew, I had one of those auras, but it was different. It was in my ears, and it was a horrible, horrible thing. I thought I was going to throw up. And the next thing I knew, he was right there hanging on to me, and I was just all over the place, arms, hands, everything. I was just out of it uncontrolled. And it didn't last very long, but if I had landed on the ground, I can see why I hurt myself now. I can see it. I can understand it. Anyway, it kind of fits into what I want to talk about. Fear. Change. I believe that our world, our whole big wide world, many people are in great fear. I believe that. Now, if you're not, great, more power to you. Cool. I'm glad to hear it. Because I'm not in fear. Not at all. Of course, I'm 60 years old, so how much longer am I going to be around? Oh, hold on a minute. You know what I did? Oh, ho, ho, ho. I was meditating, and I took my arm brace off, and oh boy, I just happened to notice it. Hold on, cane time. Oh boy, better go get it. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's what I mean. My home isn't all that big. It's very comfortable, but it was in the bedroom, and I was going as fast as I could, but I've hurt myself doing that. I really hurt, but we won't focus on that. But we will talk about the fear, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started having horrific problems with my spine, and I didn't understand quite, well, I knew a little bit. I broke my back, and I had my neck broken when I was 18 years old. So, yes, I did understand that things had happened to me. But, I guess I thought that I was just going to heal up and everything would be back hunky-dory and back to normal, and that's not how it worked. Not at all. Now, it took several years for me to get, well, I just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And the next thing I knew, I'm being told that if I don't get an operation, I definitely will be in a wheelchair in no time flat. So, I've always been an extremely active woman, and I could not picture myself in a wheelchair. Oh, and then also, I was having the most severe migraines. I mean, just, way beyond anything, we could ever imagine. So I was having to go to the emergency room all the time. Well, they did the lower back, and then they did the upper. They did the whole spine, cervical spine, every bit of it. And so I get headaches now, but they're not the same kind of headaches. I had a brain aneurysm, and I'm positive that these headaches are connected with the brain aneurysm. And I also had, that's why I think I'm having the seizures from the brain aneurysm. I live in a very small city. I came from a much larger city, and it was a real shock to come down here to this little tiny city, and I didn't realize how small it was, and came down here, and oh my goodness. Oh, the medical. Whew. It might be like this all over the place. I don't know. But I have decided no more operations. I'm done with that. I've had my fill. It's been 15 years worth, and I'm done. I'm really done. And, I have no fear about it. None whatsoever. I'm fine. I might be a little angry at times. Wouldn't you be? What they did to me in my back totally collapsed. And I do mean collapsed. I don't have hardly any functioning discs back in my lumbar spine now. And it's a miracle that I can even use canes to get around. I have a wheelchair sitting in there, but I'm not supposed to wheel myself because of my neck. But I plan to do something, take that carpeting out, and I'm hoping that once I do that and put some tiling in or something, that I'll be able to get around, at least around this area, and I should be all right. But anyway, let's get on with the world. Let's talk about the world. It's not so different about the world to me, is it? There's a big change that needs to come in my life, and I'm having to accept it. Our world is going through a huge change. I mean, huge. And it's not just the Afghanistan or Iran and all the rest of Syria. It's not just them. It's everywhere. It's the United States. I don't want to be a politician right now, but I am going to say to you that I know a lot about history. I have studied history like you would not believe. I love history. I love philosophy. Always have. Always have. But anyway, I'm glad I went to college when I did, because they taught. I had unbelievable history teachers, and they were probably philosophers too. I mean, they taught like philosophers, really. But anyway, what we're going through, the world has gone through before. We weren't having growing pains, and they're pretty serious growing pains. But we are. But I am getting ready to write a blog about this very thing, in fact. What's really important right now is what we teach our children. That is the most important thing that we as adults can be doing. We must take care of our children right now. If the schools are teaching them the wrong things, then we have to step in and we have to take over. You know, my daughter and I have issues. I don't know why, but we do. But I'm going to give her a lot of credit. Two of my older granddaughters did go to regular school for the first, up until third grade. My oldest granddaughter did. Now that was good for me because I got to see them a little more. I could squeeze in and be for grandparents, go to lunch and see them at lunch. But what she did was she got angry at them. I got angry at the schools with my kids too, but I was a working woman. I had a degree. I was I had an excellent job, and I was raising my children, so I could not do what my daughter did. I did not have a husband who was, I had a husband, I had several in fact, but I did not have anyone that I could depend on, that I could just quit my job and teach my children. In fact, I never even thought about homeschooling. I didn't even realize that I could even do that. I honestly didn't. But the point is, even had I understood that I could do that, I had no way of doing it unless I did it they didn't go to school during the day and I came home and did it at night. And that sure would have been hard on me, let me tell you. It would have been hard on anybody. But my daughter is homeschooling, and I am just proud as punch that she did that. And my granddaughters are almost grown up. So, one of them is probably going to start college in a year, and she's only 16. But she'll be able to start because she's, they go at their own rate. And my grandchildren are smart, very intelligent children. And sometimes I wish I could have done that my mother or my father, my parents would have thought of that. But hey, I came from a different age. Yeah. I want to address that. I'm a different generation than probably a lot of you. My parents grew up during the Depression, the Great Depression. There's never been a depression like what my parents lived through. And when I was a child, my parents were scared to death at all times that this country was going to roll into another depression again. It was something that they never forgot. Well, we didn't, because there were things put in place by law that helped keep our country from that happening. But, that fear never left my parents. It never left them. And so, consequently, we weren't afraid, but my parents were. I can tell you that. The good news was our schools were teaching pretty good. We were learning really good stuff. We had really good teachers. I went to high school and junior high in the Chicago area. So, I really did have a good education in as far as my years years before college. And then when I went to college, I had wonderful education. I really did. No doubt about it. I had wonderful education. And I loved some of my classes. I mean, I couldn't wait to go to school. You know, somebody's car's barking out there. I'm glad it's not mine. I hope it's not mine. No, mine's in the garage. We would hear it if it was mine. Well, there's a reason that I'm talking about fear right now, and all of that. Even in the philosophy group, I have observed that there's a lot of people that are bringing up fear issues, okay? There are changes going on in our world. And there are a lot of people that don't know what's going to happen or how this is going to affect us and all of that. Well, you know, I have this thing that I always say, stay in today, please. Yes, stay in today. Especially me, because my son died 3 years ago. He was 34. And I really feel like staying in today. Because I know now how precious each day is. And I think people need to realize that each day is precious. It's a gift. It is a gift. And I don't care what you believe, what religion you are, doesn't matter to me. But each day is a gift. And I am grateful for it. No matter how horrible my body feels, I am grateful for this gift. And I wish that we could teach our children that. I hope that some of my children are teaching their children that. I don't know, because I don't see my grandchildren, but I pray that they're being taught something like that. It is kind of sad, isn't it? When my son died, I no longer had much of a family other than my father and couple of my sisters, and that's about it. The rest of them are kind of out there. Boy, I hate to say that. It's true, though. I always keep them in my prayers, though. I really do. Because I do love them with all my heart. But they are definitely having their own difficulties. I saw it coming years and years and years ago, but, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, you know, there's another thing that I want to bring up, and that's controversy. You know, when we start talking about politics online, you know what happens? Everybody wants everybody else to hear what they have to say. And if you don't agree with them, goodness gracious, talk about, oh my God, if they had guns in their hands, they'd be shooting at each other. And I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. They would be shooting at each other. And it's only been in the last, 15 years that women have actually been listened to. Yeah, isn't that something? I can remember 15 years ago getting in these conversations and I would write out something and they would totally ignore me. Now if I change my name to Stephen instead of using my real name, Steph, maybe that would have made a difference. But I refused to do that because I felt that, hey, I have something to say and there's no reason why you can't hear what I say too. Whatever I am saying is just as important as whatever you're saying. Part of the women's lib thing here. Oh yeah. Had I been back in my grandma's time, you betcha I would have been marching with those women. But my grandmother, wow, she was an amazing woman. She became a millionaire. She did. Now, just because she was a millionaire didn't mean that any of us really got anything out of that. My grandma lived to be 103. But I love my grandma. Oh my God, did I love her? Do I love her? Oh, she is something else. Well, she's dead now, but wow. She was healthy. My God. The thing that got her, when she turned 100, she kept falling in her house. And she had friends checking on her, kind of like I do now too. And because my legs are not holding me up very good. And so these people would check on her. And they came in and found her stark naked, laying on the ground, crying because she'd fallen. She had taken a bath and she had fallen. Kind of makes me sad because I remember how strong a woman she was. And she used to say to me, I'd visit her all the time. I took the kids with me, and then when they grew up, I'd take my granddaughters a few times. And then when my daughter wouldn't let me take my granddaughters anywhere, Grandma died anyway. So, but she used to say to me that the day that she couldn't get out of bed was the day that she would be done. And if any of her children died before her, she would not want to live any longer. Well, the year that she died, within that year, 2 of her sons died. 2 of my uncles died. It was so sad. Unbelievably sad. And so Grandma died. And it wasn't a pleasant way of dying. I just hope that I believe in souls, okay? Sorry, but I do. I'm a spiritual person. I have specific reasons for that too. Because I came from an atheist father. Oh yeah, big time atheist. And there was a long time that I was either atheist or agnostic, I can tell you that. Until some things happened that made me realize that, oh, no, there's a soul and there's some kind of afterlife. Oh, yeah. Yes, I believe in it now, wholeheartedly. Oh, yes, ma'am. So, I'm not going to tell you what that was tonight, but sometime I will. I had several things in my world. They're very interesting. In fact, my grandmother used to love one of my stories, and it wasn't a story, it was the truth. But she loved it, and I know why she loved it. Because she needed the reassurance that there was something else. I knew that was why. Okay, I'll read a few things. First of all, there's a principle that I was taught. It's the principle of no controversy. How about that? Hey, no controversy. Huh? How about that? And then we have a private opinion that we keep to ourselves. You know, you have to think about that for a minute. That's ego. We all have opinions. Maybe some things we don't, because maybe we just don't have enough information about it. But we all have opinions. There's no question about that. And maybe some of these we need to keep to ourselves. Because maybe they're just going to cause controversy. I know that when I was younger and before I got the help that I got, I didn't care about controversy. In fact, I kind of liked it. Now, I was a troublemaker, let me tell you. Don't I look it? Yeah, Steph the troublemaker. Yep. I definitely like that controversy. But not anymore. I had a wonderful teacher. I feel like Helen Keller, you know, because my teacher changed my life. She really did. Other things did too, but she changed my life. And she told me, before she started working with me, she said, if you want me to help you, you have got to forget. This is hard to say, because it's so amazing. Now listen to me well. Forget everything you ever knew. And I thought, what? How do you do that? Well, I am going to tell you how in the next few videos. Well, it's going to take more than a few. I'm going to teach you how to do it. If you want to learn. It will not be easy, and you will have to do everything I say, whether you think you need to or not. You still need to do it. I did one on how to meditate. I did two, actually. They were 11 and 12. You need to watch them. Meditation is vital to who we are and what we need to be doing in our lives. Okay, now, we refuse to be drawn into controversy by anyone or anything. We refuse. We just flat don't do it. And I'll tell you, here we go. I'm going to tell you how we do that. We do that by restraint of tongue and pen. Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one for me. This likes to say things. Oh, yeah. Restraint of tongue and pen. Yeah. When there are causes at the public level, we need to check our motives. Now, by that, what am I talking about? I'm talking about what I was trying to tell you, earlier about how we get online and next thing you know, we're in an argument that's going down 150 different times. People have been throwing their opinions on there. I've seen it. Oh my God. I'll tell myself, I think this is a time of restraint and tongue and pen. And it is. It is. I like to read them though, but they get kind of loud and kind of, like I said, if they had a gun in their hand, I think some people would get shot if they were sitting across from them. Good Lord. Do we truly have to act like that? Do we have to be right? That means we want to be right. When we continue to do and behave like that, do we have to do that? I'd ask myself that if I were you. Okay. And then, let's see. Tolerance is one of the principles. Oh, yes. Tolerance. That's a toughie. Gotta be tolerant. You may not like what they say. Tuffy toenails. Time to be tolerant. Yeah, I like tuffy toenails. My dad used to say it. Okay. We are guardians of our own lives. We're more than that. We're guardians of our family too. As much as we can be. As much as they'll let us be. I'm 60 and I have granddaughters that are getting to be upper teenagers now. And if my daughter would let me be part of their lives, I feel I could help be their guardians. I really would. But she won't let me be part of their lives, so. But if I could, I would be. Okay. lot of what I'm talking to you about is our spiritual shield from conflict in our world. Our spiritual shield from conflict in our world. You know, if we want to change our world, that's great. But we're never going to change it with conflict. We're never going to change it if we have some ulterior motives. We're never going to do it that way. People have tried. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. It doesn't. Humility. That's a biggie. You know, a lot of people get it mixed up. They think humility and humiliation are the same thing. They're not. No. Humility is a beautiful, beautiful way to be. It's doing all the things I just mentioned. Restraint of tongue and pen. Honor and respect of our fellow citizens. Love and light to everyone. That's humility. Try not to complain. Nobody likes a complainer. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts like heck. But you know what? We gotta live with it. By the way, when you get to be my age, everything hurts. Just a pre-warner. And here's the deal, though. I truly believe that we can change all that. Yeah. I believe that we have the power within us to keep that from happening. That's why I wish today that I hadn't had all those operations. Although, when you've had a broken neck and you broke your back, sometimes you have to. In my case, it was a have to. They really did have to do it. Now, my deal is I've had to learn to live with it. And I've had to learn I want to be on my own. I don't want to be in a home. That's my big thing. Okay? So humility is a big deal. And we need to follow it. We need to try to be as humble as we can be. It doesn't mean that we don't express our ideas. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that we are humble. And you know what? It is 43 minutes. It is time for me to stop. One last thing. To live it and be it should be our lesson and our thing. To live it and be it. Please remember that. It's time to go. I love you. I love you. Love and light to all of you.